Hello, YouTube. My name is Mad Max, and you're watching my YouTube channel. Um, I am here to show off a quick little video on the Outlast trials of all the trials that I've made so far. I've actually maxed out on the amount of trials I can do right now. I cannot create any more until I delete some, so let's get through these trials, y'all. I've only tested out a couple of them, and so far, so good. Um, but yeah, let's get into it. So the first trial that I ever made is called Entertain the Family. And basically, it's the Kill the Snitch trial, which is one of my favorite trials. The variators are there's multiple prime assets in the trial. So you're not only are you dealing with the security guy, Coyle, you're also dealing with Mother Gooseberry and Franco. Um, I may or may not change this. I haven't decided yet, but I added a secondary objective to extract organ samples. Basically, they're like these dead bodies that you find hanging on the walls, and you extract organs to complete the objective. Um, I haven't decided if I'm gonna change this variator yet, but yeah, we'll see about that. There's stronger enemies in the trial. Enemies are more lethal. More imposters in the trial, so the doppelgangers within your group. Hallucinations. So you're not in psychosis the whole match, but you will be getting hallucinations. Like if you open a door, turn a corner, whatever the case may be. Yeah. Um, and then there's enraged enemies. So they're on high alert. So you gotta be quiet, or they're gonna hear you and come after you. But that's the first trial I've ever made. Um, And actually, let me go. The trial code here is at the bottom. You can screenshot, whatever you need to do with that if you wanted to try that out. Um, the second one that I made is called Escape the Fun Park. And so the variators are the Jaeger. So she's permanently present in trials. Um, my idea of this trial was I wanted it to be like a bad trip, a very bad trip, and you're just running and you're trying to escape. It's exactly what it is. Escape the fun park. So the Jaeger, you're running from the Jaeger. Bad trip, you're in psychosis the whole time. More and deadly traps. So there's the maximum amount of deadly traps in the trial. And there's low enemy density because we're dealing with the Jaeger here and Coil and there's a lot of fucking traps, and you're also dealing with psychosis, so I dialed it back a bit on the enemies. Um, there's unreliable doors, extra barricaded, trapped, and blocked doors in the trial. There's many ways to counter this, especially if you've already unlocked all your skills through the Shadowy Dame. I think that's her name, Shadowy Dome. Um, there's ways to get around this. And it's actually quite easy if you do have that skill already. Um, but yeah, so we're dealing with more traps here, the Jaeger, and there's also explosive mines. So they're very lethal I mean, I've already tried this trial like two different times. Um, the explosive mines will fuck you up. You just got to be careful where you're stepping and where you're running, running from the Jaeger. The third trial, oh yeah, let me show off the code. That's the trial code if you wanted to screenshot that or to try that out or whatever. Um, the third one I made is called Carve the Corpses. It's basically poison the medicine. This is a group trial. If you don't have a group, you can't do it. Trial code is below if you wanted to screenshot that. Um, so you can't make noise. Enemies have an extreme sensitivity to sound but impaired vision. Voice disturbance. Enemies can hear you talk. And the Jaeger is also present in the trial. So if you're screaming, if this bitch is coming after you, enemies around the area are going to hear you. There's stronger enemies, more lethal. Psychosis again, another bad trip. And high enemy density. So there's more enemies in the trial. So yeah, this is poison the medicine, but I turned it into carve the corpses because of, what you have to do at the very end. Um, but yeah, that's the third trial that I created. The fourth trial I made is called Sabotage the Guilty. And this trial, if you want the trial code, here it is at the bottom. You can screenshot it. But this trial basically is the shut down the factory trial. The Jaeger is present because, it's always more fun when she is there. Psychosurgery, maximum trauma, maximum population of brutal enemies, no player names, extreme psychosis. Enraged enemies, enemies are on high alert. Another psychosis trial. Boarded up doors, and exit rush. I've actually played this trial and I thought it was pretty fun. I got through it pretty quickly. Um, you just have to be very fast paced, especially with the Jaeger in the trial and shit. But yeah, so that's Sabotage the Guilty. Next one I made is called Mutilate the Scales of Justice. And here's the trial code below if you wanted to screenshot that. So let's get into the details. So there's more imposters in the trial. There's no Jaeger in this one. Um, Imposters are fun because you think you're seeing your friend, but you're actually not. And then they end up fucking you up because, yeah, you weren't really paying attention. And then there's high enemy density, more enemies in a trial. Toxic shock. So the trial environment sporadically fills with toxic gas, inflicting permanent damage. In order to avoid this, you need to hide. So there's a garbage can, a closet, a desk, wherever you can hide, hide. Um, I also added the collect the rats as the second objective for this. Recover all the drugged rats within the trial for tissue analysis. Um, Enraged enemies. Enemies are in high alert because, it's more fun that way. And yeah, another bad trip. I love the bad trip trials. So there we go with that. So that's mutilate the scales of justice. This next one is called kill the miscreants. And here's the trial code below if you wanted to screenshot that. And let's get into the details here. So the Jaeger is present in this one again. This is basically the feed the children child or trial, sorry. Um, but yeah. So yeah, the Jaeger is president or present. The Jaeger is present. Wouldn't want that bitch to be the president. Enraged enemies, high alert, deadly prime asset. So if a prime asset sees you, she can kill you with one shot, just like the Jaeger. It's the feed the children, like I said, it's just way more difficult. I haven't tried this one yet. It's psychosurgery, so it's maximum trauma, maximum population of brutal enemies, no player names, extreme psychosis. Another bad trip trial, as you can see. I love these. Um, and then the exit rush because, the exit timer begins once the final objective is completed. When you're in a situation with the deadly prime asset and the Jaeger, you don't want to be waiting on this fucking go run up to the exit and push a fucking switch and wait for these fucking shuttles to come. You're just gonna run out the trial. So that's kill the miscreants. There's another one I have called punish the government. And here's the trial code if you wanted to screenshot that. Um, let's get into the details for this one. So this is the cold snap. The trial environment is sporadically filled with piercing cold air. So just like the toxic shock, you hide to survive or to avoid damage. Um, yeah. So that's pretty self-explanatory. There's more pictures in the trial, more pictures because they're fun. Enraged enemies, of course. Stronger enemies, deadly enemies without mercy. Frost mines. Gas mines have been replaced with frost mines. So, like, think so if you're running into this trap, you're basically going to get the cold snap effect, and you're going to lose health until you hide. So if you run into one of these, make sure you hide right after. And then high enemy density, more enemies in the trial. So no bad trip this time, just piercing cold air and more lethal enemies. This next one that I made is called Escape the Past. Now, this one is trickier. This is the trial code at the bottom if you wanted to try that out. Screenshot, whatever you want to do. The details. So, this is the countdown trial. Um, Regions are equipped with a bomb counting down. Find time extenders, or the entire team will explode and the trial is failed. So, yes, do that. Low enemy density, because we're already dealing with the fucking countdown, which I think is a pain in the ass. So, there's also more and deadly traps, hallucinations, no psychosis, but you will hallucinate throughout the trial. Um, Additional boarded up doors, they're breakable, and psychosis damage. So, damage causes sanity psychosis. So, if you receive any kind of damage from traps, from a person, you're going into psychosis. Um, this is I think it was Eliminate the Past trial or something like that. Destroy as many of the historical records as you can within the allotted time. The more you eradicate, the less we punish. This one is fairly easy, at least I thought, but I think the countdown would make it way more difficult. So that's Escape the Past. Now, on to my personal favorite, Bleed the Room. Here is the trial code if you wanted to copy or screenshot that. And then let's get into the details for this one. So this is fuck, what was this trial originally called? I think it was like Fuel the Exit or something. I forgot. But it's a coil trial. You carry the fuel, power the court, and secure your liberty. So this trial is fairly dark, and you're powering up generators to, light your way out, and yeah, some Dead by Daylight type shit. But there's more imposters in the trial. There's no batteries or recharges in the trial, so use your night vision wisely, because otherwise you will be running around in the fucking dark. And there's also sharp glass. So walking on broken glass causes damage and bleeding. Bleeding. Taking damage will cause bleeding. Use bandages to patch up, or a healing rig, whatever the case. Hallucinations because you're in the dark, and the enemies are enraged, which is funny as fuck if you ask me. Um, but I've tried this one yesterday, and I had so much fun playing it. I thought it was so funny. Um, yeah. Definitely my favorite one that I've done so far. And then the last one, Liberate the Prostitute. Here's the trial code if you wanted to screenshot. This one is basically not the latest trial that just came out, but the one before, with Franco. So, he who controls what justice desires defines the contours of law, satiate the prosecutor's more discerning pleasures. This one has multiple prime assets present, so not just Franco, it's Mother Gooseberry and Coil. Low enemy density, extra prime asset traps, more pitchers, enraged enemies, and stronger enemies. So yeah, you get the point, but I haven't played all of these. The only ones I've really played were Bleed the Room and Sabotage the Guilty and Escape the Fun Park, which I thought those were all fun. Um, I do plan on getting around to the rest of these very soon. But if you happen to try any of them before I do, feel free to leave a comment below. Um, if it was fun, just your opinion on the trial, like if you think anything could be changed, if it was too hard, if it was too easy. Let me know. I can make modifications, or I can just, delete and make new trials, which I plan on doing. But yeah, those are my trials, and yeah. So if you get around to them, let me know. But yeah, this is Mad Max, and thank you for watching.